Alright, so today I am going to be doing my picks for this weekend's Michigan doubleheader at Michigan International Speedway. Let's get into it. So let's first talk about the weather. So the weather for this weekend, it looks really good. Right now on Saturday, there is a 10% chance of rain, while on Sunday, there is an increased chance, but not much, a 20% chance of rain taking place on Sunday. So that is very good there. For any of my new fans on this channel, I do it kind of similar to NASCAR Weekly Podcast, where I do a struggle pick, a suck pick, an underdog pick, the guys who could honestly have strong runs that usually aren't as good, and race winner picks. But for this weekend, since there are two races happening, we're going to actually end up doing two picks for each of the series. So anyway, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. So who is going to struggle this weekend? Who is going to suck? So for race number one, I am going to say Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman, yes, won at the last 2 mile track we went to, which was Auto Club International Speedway. He ended up winning that race, but that was when Hendrick Motorsports had a lot more speed than they've had recently. And Alex Bowman, historically at this racetrack, really has never ran great. He's got about a 25th place average finish at this racetrack. Granted, the last 4 races we were in here, I think he's finished in the top 20 in all 4 of those races. But I think Alex Bowman is really going to struggle this weekend. I don't see him, I don't think for race 1 he's going to do well. Race 2, however, I think there is a good chance that he will bounce back. Now we get to race number 2. I think John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter Nemechek had a very strong start to the 2020 season, but really ever since we've gotten to the second half of the year especially, he's been on a downward spiral. Granted, he's not like completely sucking. He's had a couple good finishes recently. But overall, ever since that really strong run at Darlington he's had a few good performances, and really other than that, he's kind of struggled. And he didn't really run that well last time we were at Auto Clubs, and it's similar to Auto Clubs. So I expect John Hunter Nemechek to struggle in race 2. I think he'll have a pretty decent race 1, though. And now we get into the underdogs. In race number 1, my underdog pick is going to be Tyler Ruddick. Tyler Ruddick won this race in the Xfinity Series in 2019, and he ran very well at Auto Club as well this year as well. You know, he was running in the top 15 a lot of that race. And RCR's equipment has gotten a lot better, and he's had 4 top 10 finishes in the last 5 races. Currently the number 1 position outside of the playoffs. There's a very good chance he could make the playoffs this year. I think Tyler Ruddick will get it with a very strong run. I think another top 10 run to continue his top 10 streak. In race number 2, I think this might surprise some of you. Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie Johnson won the pole last time we were at Auto Club International Speedway, which is a similar track to Michigan. I think Jimmie Johnson will come through this weekend. I know he's kind of had an up and down final year. I wish he would come back for 2021. And I know he's kind of had an up and down year this year. But I think Jimmie Johnson at this weekend's race especially, I think he scores himself a top 10 in race 2. I think he actually will be really strong in race 1. I think he will run top 10 for both races, but I think in race 2 especially, Jimmie Johnson will be your underdog for race number 2. And now we get into the winning picks for this race. For race number 1, I am actually going to go with a driver who's been very strong this year. In my opinion, the most consistent driver of the 2020 season, and a guy who has won the last 2 summer races at this racetrack. I am going to go with Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick is historically really good at this racetrack. I don't expect him to win race 2, but for race 1, Kevin Harvick, I think, is going to score his 3rd straight Summer Michigan win, and I think Kevin Harvick continues to show his dominance. He's been heating up here all 2020 ever since we've come back from the COVID pandemic. I think Kevin Harvick continues his hot streak, and he will win this race 1. He will not win race 2, however. For race number 2, I am going to go with someone who's kind of had an up and down year since we've returned from COVID-19. He started off the year really strong. This driver was really strong at this track in the past, and he's had an up and down year. He won 2 races before the pandemic, but really ever since he's kind of had an up and down year. But recently, especially in the last 4 or 5 weeks, he has shown a lot of speed, along with his teammates of Ryan Blaney and Brad Keselowski. You heard that right there. I think Joey Logano is going to win race number 2 at Michigan in the Michigan doubleheaders. Joey Logano has won this at this racetrack 3 times, and we're running a very similar package. In fact, we're running kind of the same package that we ran last year at this race where he completely flat out dominated. Joey Logano is going to win this race too. I think he's going to be your guy to be in that race. I think Logano has shown a lot of speed, and I believe that Logano will finally capitalize after kind of a struggling second half after a couple really good races. I think Joey Logano is going to win. Here are some drivers, though, to watch for in this weekend's race, along with Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano. I think Mark Truex Jr. is going to run really well. He ran here really well last time, and he's been starting to pick it up as well. Denny Hamilton, of course. Denny Hamilton has been one of the most consistent drivers of the year. I expect him to be really fast. Brad Keselowski, who is coming off of a very dominant performance at New Hampshire, and he's been really strong the last couple weeks. I think Brad Keselowski is going to be very, very strong in the race, along with also Kurt Busch. I think Kurt Busch is pretty good on the 2-mile racetracks. Chip Ganassi seems to have their stuff going, especially at this racetrack. I think Kurt Busch will have a very strong run. I think also Kyle Busch will be really, really fast this weekend. Those are some of the guys to watch for, along with my winners of Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano. So, anyway, those are my picks for this weekend's Michigan doubleheader. So, anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on so you can be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links in the description below for that. And comment your thoughts on who you think is going to win this weekend's race, who you think is going to struggle, and who you think is going to be underdog in the race. Let me know in the comments below. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.